We've got people in some situations that are making over $300,000 that are getting a health care subsidy. Listen, this should be for the teacher and the firefighter, the people that are just like a year away from retirement, or from 65 and they're retired. But to your point, I have been advocating for an extension to the ACA tax credits as long as it's paired with reforms to ensure that these subsidies are narrowly applied to our most vulnerable Americans and not rife with fraud, abuse, waste. And the other thing I'd say is anything the House does when we get back is performative. The Senate has clearly drawn a line. There's not 60 votes to extend the ACA tax credits over in the upper chamber.
Nebraska Congressman Michael Flood joining me earlier on in this program discussing the Obamacare subsidies as millions of Americans face a spike in their health care premiums when they expire tomorrow. Now, Congress ended the 2025 session with no agreement on a possible extension. Now states are stepping in to try and shield their citizens from soaring health care costs. One Wall Street Journal op-ed calling Obamacare, quote, a money pit for taxpayers, adding a new study shows that extending the subsidies would be reckless. Let's bring in New York Congressman Mike Lawler. Congressman, you have been a strong and loud voice on this fight over these subsidies. Can you give us an update this morning on negotiations?
Yeah, so the objective in signing the 3-year discharge was to provide a vehicle to the Senate to actually put forth a bipartisan bill with reforms. We have been negotiating in good faith since the end of the Democrat-led shutdown. After 43 days, we said, look, we'll sit down in good faith. We'll negotiate an extension with reforms, including income limits. As my colleague Mike Flood pointed out, I mean, somebody making $600,000 should not be subsidized by taxpayers. So we want income limits. We wanted insurance reforms and accountability to hold the insurance companies accountable. Since Obamacare took effect, their profits have risen over 2,000%, while health care premiums have risen 96%. The reality is Obamacare is broken. We all know that, and it needs to be reformed. In addition, we wanted to eliminate zero premium plans and require people to pay a nominal $5 fee so that there's some skin in the game and we can root out the fraud. Over 12 million of the 24 million who benefit from the enhanced premium tax credit have never filed a claim. And so we want to make sure that these people actually, A, know they have health care, and B, the insurance companies aren't just bilking the taxpayers. In addition, we had PBM reform and HSA expansion. So we want to see that bill come back from the Senate. The objective was to get that in the House. Unfortunately, we couldn't reach an agreement with House Republican leadership to get a vote. And so we were left with no choice but to sign that discharge and force a vote.
Well, I want to ask you about that because it was widely reported, Politico reported on the fact that you had gotten into a little bit of an altercation verbally with House Speaker Johnson in mid-December because of where this was going in the negotiations, saying that it was kind of, well, BS is what you said reportedly. But where is that relationship now? Have you spoken to Speaker Johnson about the path forward? And I understand, too, just to add on to this, about reforming Obamacare, but the calendar is not your friend. In January, you've got Jasmine Crockett threatening another shutdown over this.
Yeah. So, number one, the Speaker and I have a very good relationship, and the reality of politics and government is you're not going to agree on everything, and sometimes there's going to be strong disagreement. I'm a Irish Italian Catholic from New York. I'm nothing if I'm not blunt. And so, you know, the Speaker and I have spoken many times since. Again, we have a very good relationship. I respect him. He has a difficult task managing 219 personalities, myself included, and trying to build consensus. Sometimes, as a member, though, you have to take matters into your own hands, and you have to represent your constituents. And that's what I was doing here, forcing a vote. We're going to have that vote when we come back. Now, as far as the calendar goes, you're absolutely right that the January 30th deadline is approaching, and Democrats, again, Chuck Schumer, threatening another shutdown. To me, this is dual track. Number one, let's deal with the short-term issue of the expiring tax credit with reforms. That's what I've been pushing from the start. I want reforms on that extension. Number two, we have to get our appropriations work done. When we reopened the government, we passed 3 out of the 12 appropriations bills. The Senate has been working on a package of 5. We need to get that across the finish line, which would leave 4 appropriations bills left before the January 30th deadline. And so we have a lot of work to do when we get back on January 6th. I am committed to finding a solution not only on the immediacy of the enhanced premium tax credit, but on appropriations. And then we need to address the larger issue with health care, which is the fact that Obamacare doesn't work. 96% increase in health care premiums. That's not tied to the enhanced premium tax credit. That's tied to the fact that Obamacare has failed and has not actually reduced cost. So we need to reform the whole system, and Republicans need to put forth a plan to do that.
Congressman Michael Rowley was on with me yesterday. He thinks that you all are going to land, the Senate and the House, are going to land eventually on a 2-year extension of the subsidies. Would you go for that?
That's what our bill was. We wanted a 2-year extension with reforms, income limits, insurance reforms. That's what we want, and that's the objective of signing the discharge, to force a vote and get a negotiation.
Okay, fair enough. Thank you for that. Let me move to some other business here with you. New York City Mayor-elect Zohran Mamdani is going to be sworn in just after midnight New Year's Day in an abandoned subway below City Hall Park. New York Congresswoman AOC is going to deliver the opening remarks. Another speech from Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders. New York Attorney General Letitia James delivering the oath of office in this small private ceremony. Congressman, you know, outgoing Mayor Eric Adams says he might attend. He doesn't want to deal with Mamdani's supporters. What is your reaction to all of this? I mean, this is obviously the future of New York City. Of course, you are a New York State lawmaker. What is your vision going forward and your reaction to what you're about to see happen here in New York?
Well, I think what we're going to see is the face of the Democratic Party. When you have AOC, Bernie Sanders, and Zohran Mamdani getting together, along with Tish James, that is the future of the Democratic Party. Those are the people that are actually leading the party in terms of policy and direction. Zohran Mamdani is an avowed socialist, and since AOC and Bernie Sanders rose on the national stage, you've seen this rise on the local level and in state legislatures of socialists getting elected on the Democratic line. So he is going to take office. He is going to move New York decidedly leftward. I think the first test will be how he handles ICE and immigration issues in New York, as well as public safety. And I think we're going to see a battle royale between him and the White House pretty quickly when it comes to immigration enforcement. And that obviously is going to move the Democratic Party leftward when it comes to immigration.
Yeah, well, here we go. Congressman Mike Lawler, it's always great to speak to you. Thank you so much for your time. Happy New Year, and we're going to be watching your work.
I appreciate it. Happy New Year, everyone.
All right. Thank you, sir.